Hello and welcome to today's training video. Today we will cover how to gain visibility on social media. Alright, so do you struggle with gaining visibility on social media? Alright, now I get it. There's so many options that are out there. It can absolutely be overwhelming. Alright, social media can be an absolute monster to deal with, and unless you do it absolutely right, you could really just fall trapped to a lot of different things, and ultimately you could give up. All right, but before we get started, let me just kind of put it to you this way. What platforms do I recommend for authors? There's lots of platforms that are out there on social media, but there's really only just a few that I really strongly believe that authors should be on, okay? And that's Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn. These are the really big profiles that I really think that you should have a strong presence on, okay? But I want you to keep in mind, every single one of these platforms is not the same, okay? You cannot engage exactly the same way on each platform. Okay, so I'll share an example. All right, Reddit. Okay, as you see, Reddit's not a part of this list. Although Reddit is very valuable, Reddit to me is very finicky. It's one of those platforms that unless you really kind of, touch a nerve with that younger audience that tends to be on there, or that audience that tends to have a lot of sarcasm and so on and so forth, you're really just not going to get any traction whatsoever on Reddit. I've had very little success on Reddit, but I've also had a couple of hits on Reddit to where it was an absolute success. Alright, so I will share with you just a quick story on Reddit that was an absolute failure for me. Okay, hashtags. Hashtags are not allowed on Reddit. However, you can pretty much use hashtags on every other social media profile out there, and you will gain visibility using those particular hashtags. However, Reddit does not allow hashtags. And I didn't realize that. So I jumped on Reddit and I started making posts and I put hashtags, and I immediately just got the crap kicked out of me. People just started bashing me left and right, making negative comments and, saying, get off of this profile or get off this platform. You have absolutely no business being on here whatsoever. And it was stressful. I mean, it was just one of those things where I was like, my goodness. I immediately deleted the posts and disappeared from Reddit for quite a while. I only here recently just started getting back into using Reddit because, once again, that platform is very finicky, for me at least anyway. All right. But I learned my lesson that I will never do that again. So before you get out there on any of those profiles or those platforms, make sure that you understand the platform before you just go out there and start blindly posting, blindly start doing things. All right, so let's get started. How do you gain visibility out on social media? Well, I have two strategies that I want to share with you within this training video here, and they are the paid strategy and the organic strategy. All right, so let's talk about both of them. Let's kind of peel this back just a little bit here. So the paid strategy, quite honestly, the paid strategy can really kind of get you some good results if you do it right. However, it can be overwhelming. It can be costly, and it can lead to poor results. Okay, and I've experienced all three of those. All right, I've experienced putting ads out there, paying for them, not getting any return on my investment whatsoever, and pulling the ad within 24 hours. It was a complete waste because I got poor results. And then at the opposite end of the spectrum, I've also paid for advertisements, and I've gotten immediate results, great results, and I got a great return on my investment. One strategy that I used was paid, was how to get followers. There's a really good strategy that's out there in which to get followers that's very effective, very cheap, and what that does is it allows you to lower your ad spend later on down the line. So I will have to share that in a later video, not this one right here. But once again, paid advertising, it can be overwhelming, but it can also lead to good results, but it could lead to bad results as well too. All right, so the next strategy is the organic method. And that's one of the methods that we all would like to do. Each platform would also like for you to grow organically without having to do paid tactics, paid techniques, paying for likes, paying for followers, paying for views, and this, that, and the other. Now, don't get me wrong, paying is still a good method, and there's platforms that really, they encourage it, they want you to pay. And, some things are changing with that. But organic can also be time consuming. It can be frustrating, and it could lead to you giving up. All right. I can assure you that I've pretty much almost experienced all three of those. It has taken up a lot of my time over the years in order to be organic out on social media and engage and do all these different things that you should do on social media. However, I do have some third-party applications that I use that helps me leverage social media. All right, I'm not going to talk about those here, but I do have some third-party apps that I do use that helps me manage my time, manage my posts, manage my social media a lot better, because I have a lot of social media accounts that I have to manage, and to have it all under one dashboard is absolutely amazing. But each one of those platforms negatively looks down on people using those third-party applications in order to post on social media. Once again, though, they want you to be organic. Well, I want to be organic, but I don't want to have to use 5 different applications in order to post across all of my platforms. So I have to use a third-party app to help me save time. It can also be frustrating because you're out there, you're posting every single day, you're engaging, you're doing this, you're doing that, and it's leading to no results whatsoever, which leads you to want to give up on social media. And I've seen a lot of people that have just taken an absolute break from social media. You get on social media, and a lot of people, they tend to vent their lives out on social media, and they put their junk out on the table, and then all they do is complain and share political stuff and share, memes and just junk, okay? And it can be quite overwhelming. I'll give you an example. I can't go on Facebook without seeing somebody who died. It's stressful. I hate it. I absolutely hate going on Facebook nowadays because every time I open it up, somebody has died. And I just don't want to see that anymore. So that's just an example on social media. All right, so this training here, I'm going to go through some strategies, organic strategies, and some paid strategies that will help you gain visibility on each one of those platforms. All right, so how to gain visibility organically. All right. Here are some techniques that you can use in order to gain organically. So that's what we're going to talk about first. All right. So the biggest thing is to be consistent. Be consistent in posting to each platform while focusing on quality. Okay. You can also be funny, educational, and so much more. You can also do lots of things like offer giveaways. You can cross-promote other people's stuff, join groups or even communities, and make a name for yourself. I actually use social media for a lot of different things, and there's a lot of opportunities that's out there on social media. Okay, now the most important thing to do, there's a lot of really important things to do out on social media. Okay, but setting up your profile is very important. Believe it or not, I see a lot of authors that are out there that just really have a horrible profile. Their picture is like it's just some random thing that makes absolutely zero sense whatsoever. They don't even have a picture of themselves on there. They have like a picture of a cat or a dog or something, or they have a picture of like 4 or 5 people, and you have absolutely no idea like which one of them is the author. You want to set up your profile, and it's very important, okay? And then links. I've seen authors that have 0 links whatsoever. I'm like, my goodness, man, you're missing a huge opportunity if you're not putting links out there on social media. And I get it, and I'll talk about this later on, okay? The concept of spam. Everybody, has this whole big thing about spam. I honestly think that the entire internet is spam to someone. based off of perspective, everything that's out there that's on the internet can be considered spam. So that's a whole other topic right there. I don't even want to get started on that. Okay. But you want to make sure that you have your profile set up correctly with an image, text, and links to other locations that you are at. All right, so the first thing is that you can have an image or a video. The second is a headline or a first line in basically your post. And then third is the remaining content, then hashtags. Okay, now what am I talking about here? What I'm talking about there is that whenever you set up your profile, the next thing that you need to focus on is your actual content. So content is king. Content is absolutely the king out there. All right, so first things first, like I said a minute ago, focus on image or video, because social media profiles or social media platforms are visual platforms. People engage on each platform differently. Some people engage with images better, some people engage with videos better. Once again, it's hit or miss based off of your audience. So figure out what your audience likes and post that right there. Second is your headline, okay, or the first line within the post. There's a lot of people that are out there that do what's called headline reading, where they read the headline, and if it doesn't strike a chord with them, they won't read any further. Or they'll read that first line within your post, and if it doesn't hit home, they'll abandon it right away and they won't read any further. They'll just keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling on down, you know, because that's what they do. They sit there with their phone and all they do is this right here. They scroll down, 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 down. I bypass so much stuff on social media. It's unbelievable. And unless something tremendously captures my attention visually, I'm going to overlook your stuff. I'm not even going to look at it. I'm not even going to find it or see it or engage with it. Okay? Then the content. Focus on the content, you know, which is very important. Okay? Because if I take it a step further and I start reading your content, it better be engaging. It better grab my attention and keep my attention. Now, I get it. Across the board, there's going to be content that people agree with, and there's going to be content out there that people disagree with. Okay, well, that's what social media is all about, being social. People are going to express their thoughts and their opinions and give you feedback on social media, which was really the intent of social media to begin with anyway, is to be social. All right, and then hashtags. Hashtags are very important. You know, back to my earlier story about Reddit. Don't use hashtags on Reddit. But every other platform that's out there, hashtags are very important. You want to make sure that you are capturing the right hashtags. And there's a lot of websites that are out there that will allow you to basically narrow down specific hashtags. And there's third-party apps that will allow you to basically really focus in on the right hashtags that are trending, that are popular, that are specific to your brand or niche, or similar to a hashtag that you type in. I have several tools that I use that helps me find really good hashtags that are out there. And I have a lot of them that are my favorite and that I really like to use, but there's also a lot of, a lot of opportunity hashtags out there as well too. Okay. Now, another thing that you want to make sure that you don't do is don't confuse your target audience, but you also want to have some diversity within your content. So if you're out there and you're posting, I don't know, buy my book, buy my book, buy my book. First and foremost, that's the worst thing that you could do. The worst thing that you could do is shove your book down your audience's throat day in and day out. You want to have a diverse set of content. You know, share a little bit about your life, things you like, things you're doing, trips you're taking, vacations, pictures of you out in the yard doing something, pictures of you working out at the gym, you know, pictures of you hanging out with friends or family. You know, be yourself, be authentic, which there's a little bit more on that here in a little bit. Okay? Be educational, be funny. All right? There's so much opportunity out there on social media that you don't just have to shove buy my book down somebody's throat on a daily basis. Okay? I've seen some very unique ways that authors have shared their content across social media that it just blows my mind. And every single day I'm learning something from someone. Okay. And a really good author, to give you an example, is author Jim West. Author Jim West really has a very dynamic social media profile. All right. And his content is everywhere because that's kind of his slogan. Math is everywhere. Math is magical. And he really created a movement within his social media based off of that concept. So if you ever get an opportunity to check out Jim West, you can check out author Jim West. All right, highly recommended. Especially his Instagram. His Instagram, he really is all over the place, and he's doing a lot of great things. And over the years, I've truly enjoyed working with author Jim West as a client and as a friend. Okay, so make sure you check out Jim West. All right, moving right along. Okay. You have different types of content that you can basically create. You got micro content and then you got macro content. Okay, so what is the difference between the two? So micro content is just miniature content. It could be a quick image with maybe a little bit of text over top of it. Motivational posts, inspirational posts, is micro content. I will sit there and I will find images on the internet all day long and create like a motivational statement or slogan or something on those images and share them across social media. I will take pictures of myself or videos of myself just saying a one-liner, just something quick, a 10-minute something like, hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday, and I hope that you're out there. But let me share a quick thought with you. Today is motivating. Something simple like that. That's micro content. It gives your audience a little small taste of something, and then it allows them to continuously engage with you. Little micro bits and pieces of content of you, pieces of your book, pieces of your character, pieces of your life. Okay, micro. Now macro, that is in the form of maybe a blog. Okay. You can have a blog post, and that's your macro content. You're out there writing about your characters. You're writing the background of your characters. You're writing about the world. You're writing about all different kinds. You're writing motivational posts, inspirational posts, reviews. You're doing all different kinds of things. That's macro content. All right, so that's content that's outside of your book, outside of yourself, just different things that helps you gain visibility using SEO, search engine optimization, in order to bring visibility back to you. Okay, so, I challenged a writer one time, or an author, once again, depending on the, how you look at it, because they really kind of narrowed their label down. I'm an author. Well, aren't you a writer also? And they didn't think of it that way. I was like, look, you got to think micro and macro. If you're an author and you have a book, that's great. Well, what's stopping you from writing things that you truly enjoy and things that you truly love and things that you're knowledgeable, things that you're experienced at? You have skills, you have knowledge, you have experience, you have skills. Write about those things, okay? Create opportunities for yourself beyond your books. All right, that also brings visibility back to you as the published author for your books. Okay, now I've got multiple books published out there to include audiobooks, but I also run multiple online businesses that brings visibility back to me as an entrepreneur, that brings visibility back to me as a coach, teach, trainer, mentor. Okay, I've created multiple opportunities for myself. Once again, micro content versus macro content. Opportunities are everywhere. All right. I love Tony Robbins. I love listening to Tony Robbins. And one of the best quotes that he ever said was, there is never a lack of resources, only a lack of resourcefulness. And that's why people don't succeed. Don't limit yourself. There's opportunities everywhere. Micro versus macro content. All right, so moving right along. Be authentic. Be yourself. Nobody loves anybody that's fake. Okay, believe me. If you're out there faking the funk, so to speak, to coin a phrase, fake the funk, people are going to see right through you. Okay, they are not going to want to engage with you. They don't even want to be a part of you if you are faking the funk, so to speak. Be authentic. Be yourself. Don't hesitate to let people into your life just a little bit. okay, into your world just a little bit, into your characters, into your book, okay? Be authentic. All right, share your journey. People will connect with what they hold valuable. All right, if people find value in the things that you say and the things that you do, that will help them connect with you on a deeper level. I'm telling you, at a whole just other level. All right, so next one is buttons. Buttons everywhere. Put buttons everywhere. Follow me, subscribe, like, whatever buttons that are out there, put those things everywhere. All right, put them. What that does is that creates the ability for people to follow you wherever you're at. Okay, I've seen websites and blog posts that didn't have their social media on it. It drives me nuts. I was like, why are you not bringing visibility back to your social media? Because here's the thing. I like to look at the website as my house. The website is my house. That's my house. Social media is my arms and legs. Okay, that brings people back to my house. Okay, but you got to put those buttons everywhere so that way people will know other places are where you're at, because every place is a different, I guess, platform or way for you to engage with others. Okay, and I know that I misspelled that, and let me fix that real quick. So follow influencers. I can't believe I misspelled that. But anyway, follow influencers. Okay. My goodness, man, that's completely misspelled. Nope. Let me try that again. Influencers. I don't know what I was trying to spell with that one. But follow influencers. Okay. Man, I should have caught that beforehand. I feel embarrassed, actually. But follow influencers. Okay. Follow influencers, share their content and tag them, engage with them. You know, I'm not even going to try to sugarcoat this. I follow all kinds of people. I follow Kim Kardashian, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone. I follow comedians. I follow authors. I follow movie stars, musicians, and I engage with every single one of them. You know why? They got millions of followers and people are looking at their stuff. Okay, so I engage with them, I follow with them. Sure, I might not necessarily get feedback from every single one of them because they got millions of people following them, probably trying to direct message them and this, that, and the other. But believe it or not, I have actually received feedback from them. Now, sure, I get it. It probably might not have necessarily been them. Who's to say and who's to know? It could have been one of their social media managers that, you know, got on there and, you know, engaged back with me, but it could have been them. Now, I know for a fact that there's some people that they engage with their audience. I know they do. And I've got a few famous people that I actually engage with on a daily basis. I've established a relationship with them, and every time they post, I'm posting and engaging right there with them. Well, guess what? I'm gaining visibility on the coattails of that influencer, of that famous person, of that person who's bigger than I am. And I'm establishing myself as a friend, as a collaborator, as a fellow influencer. Okay, there's so many different things that you're also accomplishing by doing that. Okay, so follow and engage with influencers. Okay, and, you know, once again, don't spam. More on that later. I'm trying to hold back on this whole spam thing. But no spam. Value. Add value. Value only. Okay? Don't go out there on some famous person's website and say, buy my book. Or put a link on their thing. That's spam. Nobody wants to do that. Don't. If somebody is celebrating something, I learned this lesson the hard way, and I got completely bashed on this. And I wasn't thinking about it when I did it. I had a friend of mine who was trying to celebrate a victory, something, you know, that they had won, a victory. And I immediately jumped on in and said, hey, man, that is awesome. Now go visit my website, people, and bam, 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 bam. And I was like, oh, my goodness. I immediately started getting post after post after post, or comment after comment after comment, saying, why are you spamming his site? This is not about you, it's about him. And I felt like such an ass after that. I was like, I immediately deleted that comment. went back into my friend and I direct messaged him and I apologized. Said, hey man, I truly apologize. Congratulations on your victory. But I spammed your comment, and a lot of people let me have it. They let me know about that. Okay, and so I went back in and I recovered from that. But I learned that lesson really quick. Don't spam. Join the conversation. Add value. Okay, if people want to engage with you, they will engage with you. They will engage with you. Okay, so, all right, moving right along. Emulate success. Okay, here's one of the things that you can do. All right, analyze what others are doing and emulate success. And one great way in which you can do that is with images and quotes. Okay, now there's free images all over the place, but do you know quotes from other people? Okay, if you know quotes from other people, don't hesitate to put those out there. It's content, okay? It's content, and it's helping, how can I say this? It's helping spread a message that people might need reminded of. Okay, there's nothing wrong in doing that. Okay. So emulate success. All right, another great way to gain visibility is to be a guest. All right, so ask if you can be a guest on things like a podcast. Be a guest poster on a website. Be a guest speaker. Get interviewed on pages or podcasts or YouTube video channels or whatever, and be a guest. Be everywhere. Don't just be on your website and on your social media. Engage with other people and then create opportunities to be on their platform. Okay? I've seen it all the time. I've seen people do live interviews on YouTube and Facebook and and all these other Twitter and all these other different platforms and everything. Don't hesitate to be everywhere. Be in other places. Be a guest. All right? Now, this next one, I really like this because I strongly believe in an email list. And there's authors that are out there that do not have an email list, and it drives me nuts when I'm trying to coach, teach, train, and mentor an author on creating your list, because there's power in a list. Build your list and nurture it, okay? And then make sure that in your email list you're putting links, you're giving action that people can take within your email. That you send out. And you don't always have to spam people, okay? But let's say, for example, you create a YouTube video. Send out a newsletter to your audience, letting everybody know you just uploaded a YouTube video. Provide a link within that email, and then direct people to your YouTube channel. YouTube is free. Your video is free. It's not going to hurt anything. You're really kind of not spamming people to go watch a YouTube video, okay? But if you constantly say, hey, buy my book, buy my book, buy my book, then people are going to unsubscribe from your email list. Okay, like I said, build your list and nurture it. Okay, build your email list and nurture it. Provide value. Let people know, hey, here's some things that's going on. Here's what I'm doing. Here's a story. There's so many different tactics and techniques that you can do with an email list, and that's going to be another video. So more on that later. I'm actually going to create a video on email techniques that you can help build engagement with your audience using email. Okay, so that's going to be a future training. Now here's the biggest one right here. Engagement, engagement, engagement. Engagement is everything. Engagement is an absolute must. If someone engages with you, then engage back. Don't ignore them. Don't forget about them. And I understand it can be a little bit overwhelming if you got a lot of direct messages, or you got a lot of tags, or you got a lot of... I have a Twitter channel that I cannot engage with everybody because I get tagged so much. I can't scroll down and look at it and engage in everybody because I've got thousands of people tagging me and commenting me every single day. It's mind-numbing sometimes. I just can't engage with all of them, but I try to at least engage with some of them, okay? But you need to engage back, all right? Answer questions, leave a reply, do something, all right? A great way to do this is on Instagram. I will always leave a voice message in somebody's direct message or their DM or their inbox, so to speak, on Instagram. This is a great way to personalize your engagement back with somebody. So if somebody's following you on Instagram, surprise them with a voice message. I do it all the time. And believe it or not, I actually get voice messages back. It was shocking when I first tried this out. I was like, you know what? This is kind of cool. It's like I'm having a conversation with the person without really having to share my phone number or anything like that. Because if the person had my phone number, they'd wake me up in the middle of the night, do all these different things. But with Instagram, I love that direct message feature in which you can leave a voice message. You can even do it on Facebook as well, too. I do it all the time. Voice messages on Instagram. I'm telling you, it's a great way to personalize and take that extra step to recognize them. Okay, thank them for following you. If somebody follows you, send them a voice message saying, thank you for following me. Okay. What I will do, once again, like I said, I will build a relationship and ultimately ask them to visit my site, join my list, or basically, I will directly ask them for an email so that I can send them a free copy of one of my books. You know, that's one great way. Look, if you're going to engage with me, I will reward you. Okay, if you engage with me out on social media or through direct messages or with my email list or what have you, I will reward you. I've literally given away hundreds of books to people who have just engaged with me. All right. And what that does is that builds even more trust, okay, adds more value, builds that relationship, and then ultimately it makes them want to buy, okay, is what that does. I'm telling you, it's like the winning of hearts and minds, so to speak. So make it personal. Don't hesitate to make it personal, all right, and that's one great way to do it, is engaging with somebody directly within their direct message with a voice message, okay. All right, next. All right, another great way to gain visibility organically is to use hashtags. I could probably create a whole training video on proper usage of hashtags. Hashtags is one of those things that I see a lot of people get right, and I see a lot of people getting it wrong, and I see people using them, and I see people not using them. It drives me absolutely nuts. Hashtags. Use hashtags. There's so much value and potential to gain visibility by using the right hashtags. Okay? And once again, more training on that later, but make sure you're using hashtags. All right, now here's a big one right here. This is one that not everybody is doing, and that's looking at your statistics and analyzing them. Believe it or not, your statistics will tell you much more than you realize. Look at your stats, analyze what is resonating with your audience, and post more content like that. Okay, look at your numbers, see how many images or impressions your posts are getting. How many people, where are they coming from? What's trending within that area? I mean, there's so many different things you can get from your analytics and your statistics, okay? But not a lot of people really dig into those analytics. A lot of people really don't, okay? And I'm one of those people. Now, I don't overanalyze it. I get just enough to where I can kind of take additional or further action, all right? So make sure you look into your statistics. Look into your analytics. Here's another one. It's not listed here on the thing, but don't hesitate to ask your audience for ideas and then post what they want while mentioning them. Okay? If somebody gives me an idea, I'm thankful for that. I am truly grateful for that, and I will not hesitate to share the the glory, so to speak, by tagging that person and mentioning them, like, hey, this person gave me this great idea. And I think that you should go engage with this person because they're really smart, they're whatever the case may be. Okay, so once again, ask your audience for ideas and then post what they want. That gives them more reason to engage with you. If you're giving what they want, what they're looking for, well, then they have another reason to engage with you. All right, so before we go into the paid method, here are some things not to do. Okay, no spam. No, I'm telling you, no spam. But spam is a matter of perspective. I guarantee you that I could look at something on the internet that somebody believes is the greatest thing in the world, but to me it's spam. And vice versa. I could post something on the internet that's the greatest thing in the world according to me, according to my perspective, and somebody else could be like, that's spam. Don't do that. I'm calling the Facebook police on you. I'm reporting your page. I've had it happen several times. I actually had to go into Facebook and like add layers of security and like prove that it was me and this, that, and the other for posting something that somebody reported, and it was like, oh my God, really? Really? You had to go do that? Drove me nuts. It took me 3 days to get back onto my frickin' Facebook account because somebody reported a post that I did that they thought was... I was like, look, if it's spam, then just disregard it. Don't even look at it. Don't engage with me. Don't look at my stuff. Continue to scroll right on past me if I'm spam to you. Or unfollow me so that you don't see it whatsoever. Okay? But once again, that's a whole other rant. That's a whole other topic. But spam. Here's what I mean by that. When you're out there on social media, don't spam other people's accounts and don't spam your account with buy my book, buy my book. Guess what? Buy my book. Hey, did you buy my book today? Why don't you buy my book? Hey, my book is out here. Buy it. Don't do that. No spam. Nobody will engage with you, and you will lose followers really fast if you continue to do that stuff. Okay? So don't spam. No spam. All right? Add value. Create value. All right? So here's another one. No emojis. All right? If you are going to post on somebody's stuff, don't just put 3 freaking emojis and then leave. And that drives me nuts. That drives me nuts. On one of my Instagram pages, I will always get like an emoji. I'm like, dude, if you're not going to take the time to provide value or add a real human comment, then stay off of my social media. But I get it all of the time. I get these emojis, or it's crazy. Don't do it. Add value. And I almost led into the second one, but I'm going to now. No random stupid comments using third-party apps that are auto comments is what I really mean. Okay, so there's these applications that are out there, third-party applications that basically allows you to, when somebody follows you, it leaves like either a direct message or an auto comment on post. That's stupid. That's the dumbest freaking thing in the world that you can do, and it makes you look like an absolute idiot when you do it. And I get it all of the time. I will make a post, and here's the greatest one. This drives me nuts. I laugh at it every time I see it. Well, gosh, I don't know if it's the perspective or the angle, but what I really mean to say is I really like your recent posts. Who comes up with that crap? Okay? You know, is that even freaking English? I mean, of course it is, but my point is that it doesn't make sense to the post. I've even had people say, oh, wow, this is a great image, and it's a video. I'm like, really, dude? You didn't even watch it. It's a third-party app that's posting this automatic, dumb, stupid post on my social media. Look, if you're not going to engage with me genuinely, then unfollow me. Just leave me alone. I don't want no part of you, and you can just leave me alone. So there's a couple others that are out there as well too, man. You know, that's like a whole probably other video in and of itself as well too. But yeah, no random stupid third-party app comments. No auto comments, no auto direct messages, no nothing like that. All right, now here's a big one right here. No follow or unfollow tactics or techniques. If you start following and unfollowing, or even if you comment too much, you will get blocked. I've been blocked on Instagram so many times it drives me nuts because I'm engaging, but yet Instagram says you're doing that too much. What, I'm engaging? I'm being social on social media? You're going to block me? Yes, I have been blocked on Instagram for engaging. Really, genuinely, humanly engaging. I have been blocked on Instagram, okay, for engaging. But back to what I was originally talking about. Follow and unfollow. If you follow and unfollow a bunch of accounts, I mean, first and foremost, people are going to look at like the imbalance or unbalance, however you say that, of followers versus, you know, followers versus people that are following. Okay, so you definitely don't want to engage in this follow-unfollow business. All right, be authentic. If somebody really, you want to follow them and you genuinely want to engage with them, then by all means follow them. But if they don't follow back or whatever the case, okay, I get it. That's kind of a tactic. That's kind of a technique. I engage in that. Okay, if I follow you and after like 30 days you haven't followed me back, okay, I don't think you're going to engage with me. Especially if I've posted on your stuff and I have just received zero engagement. Okay, that's a method. I can get that one. I will agree with that one. But don't just start following 100 people, and then 30 minutes later unfollow them all and then go back in and follow 100 more people. That's what I mean. Don't do that. Don't do that tactic right there. Okay. All right, so moving right along. Now, here's the fun stuff right here. How to gain visibility using the paid method. Okay. Now, first and foremost, there's paid advertisements. I will have another training on how to do paid advertisements on social media, and I've done paid advertisements on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Okay, so I can have another training on how to do ads properly on those particular platforms. If that's something that you are interested in. So if that's something you're interested in, please let me know. And I will come up with some training on how to properly do paid advertising. I have a couple of techniques that will help you get more followers and help you gain more visibility on social media. So more on that later on. But paid advertisements. Here's a big one, and this is one right here. I've been saving this one for last because this is a huge, 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 huge opportunity for you to gain visibility across social media on sponsored ads, in other words, paid advertisements, paid for by other people. Let me ask you this. How many times have you been scrolling on social media and you see those sponsored ads? You see them everywhere. You see them on Facebook, you see them on Twitter, you see them on Instagram, you see them on YouTube. Everywhere that you go, you will always see these sponsored ads, sponsored videos, sponsored everything. Guess what? That's paid for by somebody else. That's advertising. That's them advertising. Why would you not try to gain visibility on that paid advertising by posting on that paid advertisement? Now, I don't mean spam that advertisement. Engage with it. Start a conversation on it. And then guess what? That sponsored ad is going everywhere because somebody else has paid for that to go. And you know what's happening? Your post, your comment, your feedback, your value, you are gaining visibility everywhere that thing goes, paid for by somebody else. There's hardly anybody using that technique. I do it all the time. Every time I'm scrolling on any whatever device that I'm on, I will comment on every single sponsored or paid ad that I run across. I won't spam it. I will add value. I will comment on it. I will engage with that business or that person or whatever, whatever label that they are. Okay, I will engage with them. I will create a conversation and I will gain visibility paid for by somebody else. It's amazing. It's awesome. I love it. I get free visibility paid for by other people. Okay? So that is a great way to gain visibility. Post on sponsored ads. Okay? All right, well, that wraps it up for this training. So in closing, here's the things that you want to make sure that you do out on social media. Be consistent. Be relevant, use hashtags, provide value in posting, be courteous, share your journey, try new things, and most importantly, have fun and be seen out there on social media. Be social on social. All right? Well, thank you for watching. I hope that you received some value within this training. And I'll see you in the next video.